This is a gathered dress with a Basque waistline. I made it with a princess cut without cup. If you are interested in seeing the process of how this dress was made, do well to watch this video from the beginning till the end. Okay, and if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do well to do so and turn on your post notifications so you will get notified whenever we upload a new video. To my new subscriber, you are welcome. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give my video a thumbs up. It means a whole lot to me so that the algorithm can show it to more people. Thank you, and let's get started already. So I'll be starting with drafting the pattern. I already drafted the half scale pattern right here. So the length of the pattern I'm working with, I already marked my starting line, and the length I'm working with of the half scale is about 17 inches. Okay, after marking the 17 inches, then I'll come to my bust point here and mark 10.5, as you can see. Then the shoulder I'm working with is 7.5 inches, just like this, and the neckline is this neckline is 3 by 3 inches. Okay, then I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope and 7.5 for my armhole depth. This here is 3/4 inches that I came in by right here. Okay, then this bust area here, I marked my bust round divided by 4, and I did the same thing on this bust line here. Okay, so here I marked my nipple point divided by 2, which is 3.5. I mark it there, and I mark the difference between the front half length and the back, which is 2 inches. I marked right here. Okay, so after doing that, now I marked my waist length, and I also marked my 1 inch waist. Okay, so now I'm going to be extending this to my hip line. All right, I marked my hip line measurement, which is 9 inches, and I'll continue with my 3.5 inches for this part, and I've extended the line just like so. I'll come up here by 2 inches, and I'm just going to connect the dart to the 2 inches right here, as you can see. All right, so after doing that, now what I'm going to do is to mark my hip round divided by 4. I'll mark it right here, and I'll connect it to the waistline. Okay, so once I'm done with that, what I'm going to do is to mark where I want my Basque waistline to start from. So I'll come down here by 2.5 inches, then I'll come down here by 5 inches. All right, then I'll just put the darts together and mark my lines. Okay, I close the darts and I just connect the lines like so. So that is what I'm going to be working with. So on this part here, I'll divide what I have here by 2. I'll measure what I have round the armhole, then I'll divide it by 2. Okay, I have 8.5 inches there, so I decided to make use of 4 inches. All right, so I'll mark right here on the 4 inches here. Then once I'm done marking right here, I'll just connect like this. So make sure you make use of your curved ruler, all right, for this area here. So I'll just connect it like so, and I'll also connect into the dart. All right, once I'm done with that, what I'm going to do now is to get my tape, and I'll mark 1 inch down from this part here. I'll mark 1 inch down like so, and I'm just going to come up here by 1 inch as well, and I will connect into that 1 inch. All right, connect with your French curve, with your armhole curve. All right, just I want to place it properly and make sure that it is well placed. Okay, then I will connect it like so and form a cup around there. Okay, so once I'm through with that, now I'm going to extend this part here by 1 inch, and here is where my 1 inch is going to be. So I'll just follow that line and I will extend it like so. Okay, then I'll get my curved ruler and connect. So on this part, I'm going to extend this line so I can get the measurements between this place. So here I have about 1/4 inch here, then I'm going to mark it right at the bust area here. I'll mark the 1/4 inch right here. Okay, then I will extend my armhole into the 1/4 inch like so. I hope you understand. So once I'm done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out this part right here. Okay, please give my video a thumbs up. It means a whole lot to me. Thank you, so that you can encourage me to make more videos. Okay, Then I'm going to open up the bust dart here and I'm going to close it up. Okay, I'm going to close it up this way. So after closing it up, I'm going to reconnect or reshape this line here into the waist. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm going to continue cutting. I hope you can see the way I'm cutting. All right, so I'll continue cutting, and here is how I am cutting. Okay, so now I am done cutting, so I'm going to reshape this part here so I will not have a pointed edge. I hope you understand. So once I'm done, I'm trying to merge this part here and see if I have an excess or shortage. So as you can see, it's blending. Now this is my back, and I already ruled out the half scale bodice. Okay, so here I have my chest line, the shoulder line 7.5, same as front, 1 inch allowance here for my zipper. So I'll be starting from the zipper allowance line, 3 inches for the neck width, and I'll come down by 1 inch to mark my zipper neck depth. Okay, so exactly the same way I did for the front, I've did my waist and my bust measurements and my dart. Okay, so the armhole I came in by ½ inch. All right, so I have my bust round divided by 4 here, the waist round divided by 4 plus 1 inch dart. I have everything right here, just the same way I did for the front. Okay, so now I'm just going to, so from the chest line I came down by 1 inch. Okay, then here I'm going to come in here by ½ inch to remove the zipper bulge. Okay, then I'm just going to mark it up until the upper part here. So I'm going to mark the zipper allowance now. So the ½ inch that I came in by, I'm going to mark it here and replace it on this part here. Then I'm going to connect it to the upper part right here of the armhole. Okay, now once I'm done with that, I'm going to mark my 1 inch zipper allowance at the down part and also connect at the upper part right here, following the first line that I drew. Okay, so here is my zipper allowance. This is where it's going to come out now. Then I'm just going to indicate that. So once I'm done with that, I am going to remove this part as well. Then once I'm done with that, now I'm just going to, if you want to mark a princess dart, just come down by 3 inches. Then you use your curved ruler and connect it into the dart here. Okay, so I'll not be making use of that. I'll just be making use of the normal dart that I already have. So I'll cut it out just like so. Okay, so I came in here by ½ inch. All right, so I'll just continue cutting out just like so, and I'll cut. I'm not going to touch the dart. Okay, I'm going to be cutting it out on the fabric. All right, so here is our back. So I have already cut this out on the fabric, and I have ½ inch around here, and I have 1½ inch at the side. Now for this part here, I have ½ inch all around, and I have this part here on fold. Okay, all around here I have ½ inch. Okay, so once I'm through with this, I'll bring the back side. This is the back, and I already have my ½ inch here, so I'm going to be joining it with the lining piece. Okay, to turn the lining piece. So I am going to have ½ inch all around here. As you can see, 1.5 inches on the side, 1 inch for the sewing allowance, and ½ inch for turning up the lining. Okay, so here make sure you notch this bust point around here, and make sure you also notch the bust points on this part as well. Okay, notch it so you not get confused when you're sewing. All right, so once I'm through with that, what I'm going to do now is to start stitching. Okay, so I'll stitch the front part together this way, from the down part to the upper part. Just stitch it like this all the way and all the way up, and I'm going to stitch it like this all the way up as well. I'll repeat, just stitch it all the way up, making sure that the darts are aligning. I'll repeat the same process on the lining pieces as well. I'm just going to bring it, open it up here, and make sure that you are sewing rightly on the lining pieces, okay, from the down part to the upper part. So once I'm through with that, I'm going to come with the back, and I'm just going to notch this up, zipper allowance here, notch that allowance here as well. Make sure you notch it so you know what you are doing while you started sewing, okay. So here I'm going to take one piece of the back and turn it with the right side of the fabric and stitch down the neckline and this part here, the neckline and this part here, the zipper part, and the side part only, leave other part, okay. So this is what I have after I was done with my front parts, and here it is, and this is the back part as well, okay. So now what I'm going to do to the back now is to work with the dart, okay. So you're going to go to the darts, so you're going to, or you can measure from the zipper allowance line, just measure your 3.5 or your own dart, okay, or your own nipple point divided by 2, okay. Then I'll come up by 6 inches and mark my half-inch dart on both sides. So here I want to reshape this Basque line because I want it to start from the waist now. I don't want it to start from the initial part that I marked. So I'm going to come with my tape and I'm going to measure in my 1.5 inches allowance straight first before marking the curved line, okay. I'll mark my 1.5 inches allowance that I added to the side. After that, then I'll form the Basque waist line, okay, just like so. All right. So if you want to leave yours the same way I've cut it out already, you can just leave it like that, but I decided to reshape, okay. So I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm just going to repeat the same process on the lining pieces, and I'm going to turn with the lining pieces now, okay. You can see that our front part cup already came out, but I did not add any wording or whatsoever, okay. It's just a normal princess dart. So I'll turn the neckline here, the side here with my half-inch, and also the side here, okay. Leave the armhole and the down part and the shoulder. So here is what I have, and what I'm going to do now is so I've marked my dart, and this is what I have at the back right here, you can see. So here I'm just going to stitch down this part so it can be stable. I'll just stitch it down just to hold it down. Don't turn it, just stitch it down, top stitch on it like so. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to just fold in and hold my shoulder. I'm going to join the shoulder like so, right side facing each other, the Ankara fabric facing the Ankara fabric like this, and I'll turn it like this. And after making sure that they are aligning at the shoulder, make sure that the 4 pieces are aligning properly, then I'm going to stitch with half-inch like so, and I'll repeat the same thing for the other side. So here is what I have after I was done, and as you can see, we are already progressing. So once I'm through with that, I'm just going to merge it and stitch with 1 inch on the side here, and I'll repeat the same thing for the other side here, okay. So now I'm going to measure what I have from the back zipper allowance to the front neckline on one side, okay. So what I have here is about 18 inches, and what I'm going to do now is to times 18 inches multiplied by 2, which is for the other side. I have 36, okay. So 36 multiplied by 2.5 yards, okay. So that gives me 90 inches. So you can, this depends on you. If you want it more fuller, you can mark 3 yards, okay. So I have 90 inches to cut out now for my gathered or pleated parts. I hope you understand. So you can multiply your 36 by 3 or leave it at the 2.5 right here. So now to get the length of the down part, I'm going to, the full length I'm working with is 42 minus 17 inches, that gives me 25. So the down part now, I'm going to be cutting 25 length and 90 inches width. So now I have it unfold like this, and this part here that I'm measuring now is the 90 inches, okay. So because it's already unfold now, it's going to be 45 inches like so. All right, so I have my 45 inches here. Then the other part there, which is the length, is 25 points, 25 plus 1 to hem at the down part and half to sew at the upper part, which gives me 26.5. okay, so now I'm going to measure half of this 45 inches now. Half of it, which is going to give me about 22.5. so I'll mark it right there. Then I'll come down to mark my Basque waistline on this down part here. So I'll just mark 4 inches right here, okay, because I'm going to be joining with 1/2 inch on the upper part. So I will now slant it to the 22.5 inches here. I hope you understand. I will slant it like so, and once I'm done with that, I'm just going to cut it out, okay, so that by the time we do this, we are going to be having a round shape at the down part. One part is not going to be longer than the other part. That is why I did this, okay. So you can see the length right here is 26.5, okay. So now I'm going to open it up and I'm going to cut my lining piece. So the lining piece, and I've already shaped it the same way here, but the lining piece is shorter than the Ankara fabric with 10 inches, okay. So I'm just going to stitch this together so I can hold it down before gathering it. So you can gather it and you can also pleat, okay. Just stitch it down to hold it down. You can also pleat it and you can also gather it. So I do not have the gathering foot around me, so I'm just going to pleat all around. So once you're done with that, you're just going to fold it at the edge like this, and also fold the Ankara piece, okay. So you can actually stitch like this with your only Ankara piece, and once you're done, you can take the lining piece to cover the rough edge and flip it over, okay. You can do it in both ways, all right. So I'm just going to start pleating like this. Put this sharp edge, the Basque waistline, on the Basque waistline of the down part, and I'm just going to pleat this into the excess, pleat the excess into the allowance we have on this part, okay. And just continue pleating and pleating, okay. And you can also gather it like I said, and repeat the same thing for this other side here. And that will bring us to the end of this tutorial. So once you're done pleating, just fix your zipper with your zipper allowance, all right, and stitch the rest to the down part, then hem the line. So here is what it looks like on the back, and you can see what it looks like on the front already. So if you find this video helpful, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you on the next video. Bye.